It'll count us down.
Oh, nice. Wow, we're so professional.
That's what money pays for. Hey, good evening, ladies, Degents. Welcome back. We're the Distinguished Degent Podcast. I'm with Jason, Monty, Mansman, as always.
We back.
Yes, we are. And joining us, special guest.
Somebody who knows what they're doing.
No, the freaking delay. It's okay. Sam, Spaceman, Celentano, buddy, what's good? Welcome back.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, thanks for having me on tonight. I'm excited. Again, this is a really good card, so I'm excited to break this down with you guys.
Hell yeah. No, this is I was just saying, this is the first UFC card I've been excited for in a very long time, and I kind of wanted to lead that as an opener. Sam, I'll lead it with you as the special guest. Currently, the state of the UFC is, shall we say, questionable. Dana just has not been putting up good fight cards. A lot of fighters missing weight. A lot of fighters cutting out at the last second. Dana smacking his wife to endorse Smack League or whatever the hell, Slap League.
League. Power slap.
by catching a domestic violence. But Sam, what's your overall thoughts with the UFC just right now, at least as in comparison to the last time we talked?
I mean, things are pretty hectic right now. I'd say it's pretty. I don't even know how to say it. It's just kind of a mess. It's the 30th anniversary of the UFC, so I think a lot more emphasis, the promotion for a lot of the fights has been suspect. You might catch the same commercial 50 times on ESPN if you happen to watch ESPN, but yeah, it's just kind of crazy. And I spend most of my day consuming MMA content. I'd say a large part of my week is done doing that, whether it's reading blogs or just trying to stay on top of everything. And then I make picks every week. So last week I did not do. Wait, what was last week? Oh God, I don't even remember what card was last week.
Not Blanchfield. No, it wasn't the Blanchfield card.
Blanchfield won.
It was supposed to be Krylov Span, and then Krylov got hurt.
Yes.
I went 8-1 on that card. No, I killed it last week. Last week was that Blanchfield card really did me in. I for the first time in I don't know, probably 4 years, I did not do well on a
that Blanchfield card was brutal.
Or on main card, actually. Yeah, that Blanchfield card really did me in. I mean, yeah, I think there's a lot of really good young talent in the UFC. I'm excited. I think we're in a new period where I remember when I started watching UFC all the way back in 2007. So there was still a lot of there was a lot of pride fighters who were getting towards the end of their prime. When I started watching, you don't realize how old those guys were, but a lot of those guys were already in their 30s by the time I started watching, Rich Franklin and Wanderlei Silva and Shogun Rua, and all those guys were old. Dan Henderson, all those guys were old back then. But you get into it and you get attached to the fighters, and the next thing they're gone, and you're like, where'd they go? And then there's all these new fighters coming in, and so I think that right now where we're at in the UFC is this big transition period. We just finished the Three Kings era with Ngannou leaving, and then Usman and Adesanya getting the throne. So that was a really good time for African MMA, and that was really, really cool. But yeah, I mean, I think the Brazilians are making their push to get back in the championship rankings. I don't think there's going to be a Brazilian heavyweight champion for a long time, though. That's just not a realistic. I don't think that's realistic.
Not right now either. Well, I guess we'll transition. Jason, I know you're excited for this card, but I guess following up with Sam, what are your thoughts right now? What do you have to say to Uncle Dana as far as where we've gone since the last time we talked about him?
Look, it's and maybe this will sound like a cheapy McCheaperson sort of statement, but no, I mean, it really comes to the point where there's a ton of sports on TV. You know, you have the NBA packages, the NHL packages, the MLB packages. You have NFL, obviously. You know,
now we have the XFL, USFL.
XFL, USFL's coming. Like there are so many sort of things to catch my eye, and especially when you look at sort of what the pay-per-view prices are now. What is it like? You know, $85 for a pay-per-view. Like it comes to the point where some of these early pay-per-views, like, no offense, man, I got other things to watch, and if you're gonna give me, you know, okay, Volkanovski, oh geez,
Makachev.
Oh, Makachev, yeah.
But like, if you're gonna give me a pay-per-view where it's 5 fights, one good fight, you know, Yair Rodriguez against Josh Emmett, I mean, and then like a couple sort of no non-interest fights, and you're gonna expect me to pay $85? Like, bro, I'll wait 3 weeks and I'll watch the fight on rerun when it comes out free. Like, it's not that big of a deal to me. Like, this is a card where, yeah, I mean, you have Valentina in the co-main. That is an interesting fight. You have a couple cool fights on, you know, the main card itself. I feel like it's a complete pay-per-view where it's like, you know what? If I'm going to go, I'm going to spend, you know, this much money on a pay-per-view, it's like it's worth it for me to do it as compared to these other cards where, and especially too, like this month, there's like two pay-per-views. Like, bro, like I have other
back-to-back bangers, no less.
I got like, better things to be spending $170 on if you're gonna, not put out good products. So that's.
I'm with you there. I'm with you there. You have to keep putting out good product, and I understand that not every week could be good fight cards. But with the UFC, when you think about it from the COVID years, when they were the only league running, and they were just putting out card after card after card. In the COVID years, when it was thought to be impossible, but even with the new young talent they were bringing in, now it's just like they kind of got caught up in their own success. And the other thing that really... Yeah, and the other thing that frustrates me too is Dana's emphasis on the slap league nonsense that...
Yeah, he's just trying to like promote this super hard. I just saw something for it last night. It was like the power slap finale on Rumble. I was like, dude, Rumble is like bootleg AF. Like, what are you talking about? Like, Rumble is literally for like right-wing conspiracy theorists. You think people are actually going to pay money to go on Rumble and watch power slap? Like, are you on drugs? Are you high? Like, what's wrong with you?
I think that's what shows. Like, you watch like when Power Slap was coming around, and then you look at the UFC cards, and you just see how much more downhill, how much less attention it was getting. And let's be real, for a double champ fight last pay-per-view, that probably was like the least exposure I've ever seen for something of that caliber.
Yeah.
And Makachev like even said something about, he was like, yeah, Dana wants to promote like Power Slap, but he's not like promoting this fight. You know, like what?
Unbelievable.
It's a weird time for sure.
No, it's weird. And it's too much WWE shit too. Like, that's another message to Dana. The reason why I think people like us have become fans of the UFC is because we expect like good fights. So when you go and you try and sell this pay-per-view when it's, Colby Covington against some washed up scrub, and it's like, oh, but it's sort of, there's a lot of hype. Like, let's be honest, you know why the Jon Jones fight is hype? Because you have a big name in Jon Jones coming back against Ciryl Gane, who, and we'll get into my dislike for him, but let's be honest, like, it's a legitimate fight. It's not just like Jon Jones is 80 years old against some scrub, and I'm expected to be interested in that fight. And I think there have been a lot of cards recently where it's like WWE level shit where, there's all this clown stuff. Like, I just want to see good fights, man. Like, you want my money? I need good fights. Like, that's
you can't like talk about a fight. So the thing that always like blows me away is when two dudes get in like a war of words, right? Like, they'll have like really a big promo. Like, they'll cut a really sick promo and they'll just talk a bunch of trash. And then they get in the ring and the fight is subpar. And I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Like, for instance, with like Adesanya and Cannonier, or like Asanya's like, yeah, I'm going to like get back on the map. There's like fireworks and everything. And they went there. It was just a boring 5-round affair. I mean, obviously he's a technical fighter, so he just dominated in all the technical aspects of the fight, but it was boring to watch. It wasn't exciting at all. Or like, I don't know, there's so many times where it's happened where like they hype the fight up so much and then you get to actual fight and you're like, what the heck am I watching? Like, what is this?
Speaking of disappointments, can we talk about William Knight?
Oh my God, bro.
Bro, I'm
William
telling you.
Knight, man.
You got money on it. Big Bucks bet money on him again.
I did.
Last time I bet money on him and he had like 5 punches the whole fight. I was like, I'm done with this dude. Dead to me. You're like, no, I'll go back on the Knight bandwagon. That guy is trash.
I thought it was a one-off. I thought like Knight just like froze. He's like you watched the previous fights before that, and he lost some close ones, or he did get the win. So I figured, okay, maybe this was just a blip. Maybe it's just a one. No, this guy literally just danced around the ring and did nothing and collected a check.
Right. And they got cut.
Good for him.
How about
Good.
Darren Till? How about Darren Till leaving to focus on his mental health?
Yeah, and I thought he like got cut too, and I saw the cut and I was like, oh, thank Jesus! Like somebody put him out of his misery. Nope, he's focusing on mental health, which I mean, good for him if that's the case. But
Yeah,
I think he's focusing on mental health.
Focusing on mental health too. That's a new thing now. Everybody's focusing on. He's focusing on mental health, man. You know,
yeah, in Thailand, he went to Thailand to focus on his mental health.
Bro. I just think Darren Till is washed. Like, I thought
he's
him
done,
training with like Kamzat and everything, and like changing his camp. And then when he went out there, I was like, oh, I thought he was with Team All Stars. So I was like, who are these random British dudes in this corner? And I was like, oh, he's not with Team All Stars. And he was just training over there. And I was like, well, so much for that, because it didn't show like too much joyriding Hamzat and not enough fighting, bro.
He's William Knight. They're on a mental health retreat.
Jesus Christ. Well, on that note, last note, Money Mansman, you did pretty good last week yourself. I saw you throw out a little prediction and came to fruition, a 4-leg parlay. Tell us all about it, bud.
Yeah, man. No, it was just took my opportunity. And you know me, like I love the trash cards like that, those UFC Fight Night cards, because I think a lot of times you could sort of see, and there are a couple fights, and we'll maybe get into them. Like I like prelim fights this week. I just think there's a couple sort of spots where, I don't know, you just look and it's like guys fighting a tomato can, and there's just, you look at sort of the like past opponents and it stood out. And last week I had a few picks go in my favor, and I'm trying to think, it was really, I don't think I really had that many sort of close like fights. I think they pretty much all were like finishes, so it worked out. All
finishes and easy wins, but that's what we're all about here. We're all about winning some motherfucking money, and anytime we get one and take away from the sports books, it's always a good day. Yep. So we're hoping to repeat the success. I had some off-season success for me was I've actually been killing it on XFL. I'm actually like 7-1 on predictions for the season. I went to the Defenders premiere game, got completely.
Yeah, my dude was he was feeling good that night.
Oh, parlays, betting, and some good news coming along the way as well. We'll get there soon, but no, it was a good night, and I've been killing on XFL. But we're back for UFC. Like let's get out of the minor leagues. We're back to the majors. And with that said, guys, hold on one second. Uh-oh.
Hold on, that's giving me problems.
Jason's not recording. That's going to be awkward.
Hold on 1 second. I don't know why
it says it's your browser.
No, both these guys are debuting.
That's awkward.
Oh man.
So Sam, since we're still recording, what have you been up to?
Yeah, I've just been busy with school, life, trying to figure out a whole bunch of stuff, I do the Hare Krishna stuff, so been super busy with that. We have a big holiday coming up on Monday. It's called Gaur Purnima, and it's the appearance day of one of our saints, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's a super big deal. It's like one of the biggest holidays of the year, so we're really excited for that and just gearing up for that, and then trying to catch up on some work here. But yeah, I had tests today, and I think that went fairly well. So
good.
Yeah, I'll be back in Baltimore actually in about 2 weeks. I'll be back home for spring break. So
okay,
yeah,
right on, my man, right on.
So we'll see. Who knows? Maybe I will be recorded.
I think Jason's trying to come back.
I've never had good. I don't know what it is with this stupid application. I could never seem to get it.
It says he's loading.
Freaking work.
I can hear him. It says actual recording. It says you're recording.
It says I'm recording now.
Oh, there we go. Welcome back. There you are, buddy.
There we are. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. Seriously.
That's all right. We're back. Sam was just telling us about his holiday coming up and just what he's been up to. But let's get back to it. Anyways, it's UFC 285. We're going to the early prelims, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time start.
5:30. Wow.
Yeah, no, like a normal time.
Yeah, these are early.
All right.
Early.
All right. Normally, odds are presented by FanDuel, but we got DraftKings odds here per the UFC website at this moment.
I'm on the UFC website right now, so.
Yep. Odds may be changed. First fight, we got Esteban Ribovics versus Loik Radzabev. Quick notes. Go ahead, Sam.
I was saying I'm looking here. So the way I usually do my picks is if I know the fighters already, it's easier for me to make a clear-cut pick. If I don't know the fighters already, like I haven't seen them fight, I usually do the system where I go off of who has more momentum going into the fight. So whoever is usually on a win streak, that's usually who I'll pick. Or if it's a stylistic matchup, I'll pick the person who I think is better stylistically. In the case like for this fight where I don't know either of the fighters and there's also no odds are usually like the third, my third go-to. So first is like momentum, second is styles, third is odds, and then fourth. So like for this, I'm looking at their matchup stats. So it's both their debuts. So I'm just gonna have to.
That is correct.
Rybovich is 11.
Yeah. So
going into this, and
yep,
Razabov is 16-4-1. So he has a little bit more experience, but I don't know. I'd usually go with the undefeated fighter in this circumstance, but Tajis have a good style of fighting. So
Tajis. Tajis, Jesus Christ. Yeah, real quick, first fight on the card. We note the first fight is known as the Mansman Special. So Mansman, first fight on the card, who do you like?
Yeah, it's hard because this is one of those fights where really, don't really know a lot of the fighters. Although Ribovics actually, if you look at it, his last fight was a contended series fight where he had a first round knockout.
Okay.
I'm with Sam in these early fights when there's an undefeated fighter. My thought is you're looking at UFC building a young prospect, and the expectation is in an early fight. I'm going to go with the undefeated fighter, especially in this case. Don't really know either guy from Adam, so I would lean undefeated fighter here. I'd lean Ribovics here.
Yeah, I'm leaning Ribovics here with the money as well at plus 215. He's actually 11-0, five knockouts in a row, 4 of them being in the first round. 3 Kimura finishes also on his record. So he's got 8 finishes out of those 11 wins. Top 3 bets for this one. You could take Ribovics at the plus 215. If you want to double chance him to get a finish, you're looking at plus 320. And if you want to just take him with a first round win, that's at plus 650. And it's looking like pretty good odds. All thing might have to put some juice on all three and see what happens. But yeah, we'll jump to the next fight. Damon Blackshear versus Farid Basharat. Basharat 9-0, minus 500 favorite. Blackshear is plus 340, 12-4-1. Mansman, thoughts, comments, concerns?
I mean, sort of, again, similar thing, especially in, this is also, too, in the UFC pay-per-view card. I should have mentioned that, too, so I'll keep this one brief. Same sort of thing. UFC pay-per-view card, early fight. You got an undefeated fighter who's a minus 500. There's a reason for that. These are the types of people that they're trying to promote. Same sort of handicap here.
Fair enough. 6-1. Blackshear is 6-1-1 in his last 8. 5 of his last 6 have gone into the third. His UFC debut did end in a draw. He's had a couple losses though, and here's why I'm not going to pick him to win. His last couple L's were to Pat Sabatini and Chris Moutinho.
Wow.
And I'm not going to bet money on a guy who lost to Chris Moutinho.
Yeah, I've seen Blackshear fight, and I've seen Farid Basharat fight too. So Farid has a older brother who's also really good. They're both undefeated in the UFC, and they have a lot of momentum. And stylistically, I just think it's a better matchup for Farid going in this one. Damon Blackshear has like a tendency to tire out and not really have a good tank. He's usually good like in the earlier rounds, but towards like the middle, later rounds, he starts to tire out and he just gets like kind of lazy. So I'm going with Farid to win this one. Probably it might go decision, but I don't think Farid has a lot of power, so it's probably going to go decision for Basharat.
Got it.
Farid also drew to Yusuf Zalal, who I don't even think's in the UFC anymore. So
yeah,
another mark against him.
Yeah, right.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm with you guys. It's going with the undefeated favorite yet again. Taking him by points, I think there is a draw in there. Like I said, 5 of Blackshear's last 6 have gone at least into the third. So taking Basharat by points, you're looking at plus 100. If you want to take him at the finish, you're looking at a minus 220. And if you want to get daring, Basharat has 5 submissions under his belt. His last 5 have also gone over 2.5. You could take Basharat by sub at plus 400 if you want to play with some juice. On to fight 3, it's the first female fight on the card. It's Jessica Penne versus Tabitha Ricci. Ricci is a minus 300, 7-1. Penne plus 250. Sam, what do you got here? First female fight.
I got Tabitha Ricci. Ricci's been on a tear lately. I think she won. I watched her last fight. She won. It was a good one. I don't remember how she won, but I do remember watching that fight, and I do remember watching Jessica Penne's last fight, and she lost. I can't even remember who she lost to.
Emily Ducote.
Emily Ducote. There you go.
Emily Ducote.
Emily Ducote. So, yeah, she has not been looking really good lately. I'm going to take Ricci to take this one pretty easy.
Money Management, thoughts here?
You have to agree with Tim. It's hard, man. You lose to Emily Ducote, who's been like a career Bellator fighter coming off your last fight. And it's a shame because, with the odds in question, like, I'm not saying Tabitha Ricci is a great fighter, but I'd like to sort of zing the underdog here, but yeah, I agree with Sam. Ricci's on good form, and you lose to Emily Ducote, and
I don't think.
Right there.
I think Penne's looking like she's about to get cut here. She's 3-4 in the UFC, 2-4 in her last 6. She does have the height and reach advantage. Ricci 2-1. She did get knocked out by Marion Fiorot, but she's had 4 by decision. And I just think this is going to be a simple fight of older fighter who's almost washed, ready to be almost out the door, versus the young up-and-comer, which is what we've been kind of seeing here in the last few fights as well. I'm taking the huge favorite here. I really think that because this is a women's fight, it's hard for me to really predict like how it will end. Usually with women's fights, though, I think it's the old reliable, take it to go the distance, take it to go by decision. So I'm taking, instead of taking the minus 300, I'm taking Richie to win by decision minus 125.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not a bad call. I
Fair.
mean, I think Tabitha Ricci is like pretty good wrestling. So the way I see the fight going is like mostly playing out on the ground. I don't really see a finish coming along, but I definitely just see her like overwhelming Jessica Penne for the whole fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, here we go. First fighter.
Cameron Simon.
Yeah, first fighter to miss weight. Mana Martinez, 10-3 versus Cameron Simon. He missed weight by 4 pounds, the fatty.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Yeah, so
how fighters miss weight. Like, all right, I'm gonna go on a quick tangent here. I used to wrestle, right? I wrestled for 2 years. I wrestled in high school and I wrestled in middle school, and I never missed weight in my entire life. I was only over one time, and I was over by like 1 pound, and I had like 2 hours to cut that pound, and I was running, and I was sweating, and I was doing push-ups, and then I came back in the weigh-in, I was under like 0.8 pounds. So there is no reason when you have 3 months, you have 4 freaking months to cut weight. There's literally no reason in the world why you should ever miss weight unless you're being lazy or you get hurt or something.
It's called put down the fork.
Put the fork down. For the love of God, put the fork down.
Mansman, what's the rule of thumb for the distinguished Degents when a fighter miss weight? This is weight.
Bet against them.
Fucking men. Cameron Simon, 7-0, another young buck. Dana White's Contender Series kid. He's coming off his second third-round knockout, which I think is interesting. Last fight, it looked like, I actually looked it up on Sherdog. Sherdog had Simon losing the fight last fight around, and he ended up getting the knockout to win it and take it away from the judges.
That fight was tight. I watched it.
That was a good fight. I did rewatch it myself. I did actually like Martinez to get the upset here because he also was looking pretty decent. 2-2 since he went on Dana White's Contender Series. He had 8 knockouts under his belt. Last 3 went to decision, and 2 of them were splits. So an argument could be made that like he could have won those as well. He also has 5 first-round finishes. I like this one to stay under the 1.5. Simon by knockout in the third. If you want to repeat history, you're looking at plus 1,400. Simon by knockout plus 165. This one, on the other hand, though, I could see going to decision at plus 116. Manson, what would your play be here?
Well, I already bet Simon, and the thinking for that was, I don't know, you look at Martinez, I mean, I don't know, the last couple of fights that he won, he beat no-name scrubs, so let's be honest, the one guy, 14-10, the other guy, 10-6. You're winning by split decision, so these are like nip and tuck fights. And I don't know, you're fighting a guy who's 7-0, coming off the Contender Series. You know, one of those things where, again, UFC pay-per-view card, guy has 2 knockouts in a row against a guy who, you know, I mean...
Lost by split decision.
Not like any of these guys are really beating anybody good, but I think, and now especially the guy comes in overweight, and
Mana missed weight. Mana missed weight, Martinez. Simon for the win.
Cameron Simon was looking good his first fight. It looked like he was getting tired like towards the end of the second round, but he really found a way to come out and pull off the knockout, and it was impressive. So I definitely think he's a promising like up and coming prospect. I look forward to seeing him do more in the UFC. I look forward to there being more talent from South Africa in the UFC, but right now it's him and Dricus du Plessis. So I'm also excited to see both of them on the same card, which I think is super cool. And I'll get to that.
Absolutely, Sam. Do you got the featured fight up, and you want to introduce it?
Oh,
for the early prelims.
Yeah, so we got Ian Machado Gary versus Song Kenan. I'm definitely taking Ian Gary in this one. He's been looking good in his last however many fights he's been in. 10-0. He's 10-0, but yeah,
3-0 in the UFC.
He's been looking really good. I like Ian Gary a lot. He's a tall, lanky fighter who knows how to use his range. He's got good takedown defense. He hasn't really been threatened to like go to the ground at all. Not too much, but yeah, I definitely see this fight being a stand-up fight, and I definitely see him not really overpowering Song Kenan, but just really keeping him at bay and probably getting a finish in the second, if I wanted to call it that way.
That was actually my best bet. I actually had it highlighted. Ian Gary, second round knockout, plus 500. Here's why. The odds for the fight to go into the third round are plus 134. So the odds are instinctually telling me that they think it's more likely that the fight ends before the third to begin with. A knockout is also favored under the odds on how the fight will finish. You're looking at minus 170. Gary's knockouts, if you actually look at his 5, they've either ended late in the first or early in the second round. He's never actually had a third round knockout. If he makes it out the second, I would be betting the fighter to go to decision. So for me, I don't think this is going to be a first round knockout. I think this is going to be a first round wait and see, measure each other up, maybe take it to the ground. And I think second round is when they actually start swinging. Yeah.
I mean, Song Kenan has like knockout power, but I just think he's, again, just like Manny Martinez, very inconsistent. He hasn't really been able to like put everything together and get the momentum that he needs to really move his career forward in the direction that he should probably be moving it. So I definitely have it. And he's coming off of a loss. And whenever a fighter's coming off of a loss, it's really like a make or break fight for them. And it's like if you get the win, you have a chance to turn around. But most of the time when a fighter like is coming off of a loss and they're fighting a tougher opponent, they're usually gonna lose again.
Mansman, any hope for Song Kenan?
No, I don't think so. I bet Ian Gary as well. Agreed with a lot of what you guys said. I think he's just really a solid fighter. He's put forward professional efforts before. I remember a couple of his last fights and just being impressed that he's been solid. He's controlled range. He's just put forward a professional effort, and good luck to his opponent. But yeah, I like Ian Gary, and I think this is the type of fight where you have a showcase like this. I think he's sort of, again, last couple of times he's put forward a professional effort. This is where he gets the knockout and sort of gets himself to a bigger name, I think.
Guaranteed, yeah. Real quick, though, for Kenan, he's 19-6. He's had 17 finishes, 9 knockouts, 8 subs, 3-2 in the UFC. So this is one of those crazy things. I think anything could happen. Ian Gary, I think, is a big favorite for a reason because he's so tall and lanky. Don't be surprised if Kenan gets an upset, though. That's my kind of crazy call there. But that does it for the early prelims. Moving into the prelim rounds, I believe they're going to start around 7:30, 8 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah, it says 8 here on the UFC website.
8 o'clock. All right, here we go. Julian Marquez versus Marc-Andre Barrault from Canada.
Barrio.
Sam, you're half Canadian, I think, or something like.
Yeah, I am, and I love Marc-Andre Barrio, but he's coming off of a loss, and I like Julian Marquez to win this one as my upset pick for the card.
Ooh, all right, early dog. I like it.
He just has big hands. Like, Julian Marquez just has crazy power. He's coming off of a win in his last fight, and he looked really good, so it looks like he might be starting to put things together. And Marc-Andre Barrio really took a pounding. He lost to Fluffy, I believe. Yeah. He lost to Fluffy Hernandez his last fight. He really just got the break beaten off of him. Like, it was not good at all. So I don't really see him turning it around right now. He's an older fighter. I think he's kind of on the tail end of his career. I don't really see him like moving up in the division or doing anything spectacular. I do like him though. Don't get me wrong. But,
do you think it's weird that he's the favorite at minus 150?
I do. Oh, last fight, Julian Marquez lost.
Yeah, he lost. He got knocked out in his last fight.
Gregory Rodriguez.
Yeah, he lost to RoboCop though, man. That's my guy right
there. Dude, Gregory Rodriguez is just a freaking maniac. That guy's a monster. So, I mean, both of them are coming off of rough losses, but yeah, I'm gonna take Julian Marquez to pull this one out.
Fair enough. Marquez 4-2 in the UFC since he went on Dana White's Contender Series. Last fight, he did get knocked out. Baralt, though, he's 3-2 since 2021 in the UFC. 1-4 when it comes to decisions in his last 5. He did have a win overturned in 2020, but I'm with you. I like the upset here with Marquez. I just think he's the younger, better fighter who's going to have the bigger throws. Although Baralt, I mean, there are moments where I think that guy has a severe chin, and I just wonder if he's just going to
crazy.
I just wonder if he's going to outlast him as far as the chin goes and just tire him out and then take him in the third. But with that said, Marquez by decision, you're looking at plus 600. Under 2.5 if you go for the finish, because I do think Marquez could knock him out. I think he could get the right hit. You're looking at minus 150 on the under. Marquez did win in the first round. You're looking at plus 500. Those would be my 3 crazy plays. Mansman, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm on Marquez too, and we talked about it. Damn. You know, you look at the loss he's coming off of to RoboCop. I mean, that's a good fighter. And I sometimes, you know, in these cases, especially when it's close, I sort of look at the comps in terms of who are people losing to, who have they beaten. Baralt's last win was against Jordan Wright. And if I'm not mistaken, he was literally cut a week ago after his, 4th loss in a row or something. So you look at it, you know, this to me is a numbers play. Like, forget even just – and I think Marquez would probably win anyway, but – you know, you're giving him to me at sort of, you know, plus like, I think I got him at like plus 128 or something. He might still be around there now.
He's still a dog, last I checked, but
you know, I mean, it's just I think it makes sense, and I think he's, you know, he's been in the better form, and I'm not scared away by his last loss because I think he's getting a drop in class here. So.
I would say we usually call these like what the fuck teams. We call these our Chewbacca teams from the Chewbacca defense from South Park. This is like a wrong guy favorite, if you ask me. I actually think Baralt should be the dog and Marquez be the favorite. And usually what you do in these situations, you bet the dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Second women's fight on the prelim card. Vivian Araujo versus Amanda Ribas. Ribas is a slight favorite. Ribas is a slight favorite at minus 116 now. Araujo was a plus 100. She's now minus 102. Personally, I love me some Amanda Ribas. I think she's fun to watch. I think she's had some decent fights. She's 1-2 since 2021. I think Araujo could be a good bounce back fight for her. But Araujo is no joke either. Her last fight, she lost to Alexa Grasso.
Grasso's fighting for a title on the same card.
Exactly. And I think when you lose to a championship contender, even in the women's decision, you kind of have to go into it with some respect. She's had 7 in a row. Araujo has had 7 in a row go to decision. She's 11-4 overall, 5-3 in the UFC. Ribas, I think if she can take it to the ground, I think she has more of the explosiveness, whereas Araujo tends to like keep her distance. She tends to prolong the fight. As you can tell with her 7 decisions in a row, you know, she has no problem going the distance and just keeping it as minimal as possible. I think with the slight edge with Ribas, you go with the favorite when in doubt, but it could swing either way.
I know. I picked Araujo to win this fight. It's super close. Amanda Ribas is really, really good, especially on like with the stand-up. Her stand-up's pretty explosive. But like you said, she's only been 1-2 since 2020 or whatever. So she's really inconsistent. And like both of their last losses, like she lost to Caitlin Chukagian, who's also really inconsistent because she just lost to Manon Ferro. And so, you know what I mean? Like,
they actually just both lost to Caitlin Chukagian.
No, Vivian Araujo just lost to what's her name?
Well, yeah, I'm saying they.
Right? Oh, you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying they both have lost to Chukagian.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. But Yeah, I think this will be a good turnaround fight for Vivian, so I'm gonna pick her to win by decision.
Okay, and that would be. Wait, who did you have by decision?
Vivian Araujo.
Oh, dang! So you're taking the slight dog. I can't blame you there.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda Ribas by decision would pay plus 155. Mansman, what are your thoughts overall as far as this fight?
Tough fight to pick because they're close, and I think the odds reflect that. I guess you sort of have to lean. How do you pronounce the name? Araujo.
Araujo.
Araujo. I think I'd have to lean her just because I don't know. I think you have some benefit sort of fighting somebody who's fighting for a championship now, even though it was a pretty sort of dominant performance by Grasso. That may give her a slight edge. She's also technically the betting underdog, but it's a close fight. Like I could see Ribas winning this fight. It's really close.
Araujo by points would pay plus 210. And now I think Ribas too, with the explosiveness, the only two ways I play it is she's either winning by decision or I'm taking her with a double chance for a knockout or sub, and that would pay out minus 110. So it's not even like I'm really getting that much of an edge. So really it's just Ribas by points or Ribas money line and leave it at that. Okay, I think we have two more fights on the prelims. First banger on the prelims, the co-main for the prelim round. Derek Brunson going up against Dricus Still Knox Duplessis. Gentlemen, do you know the nickname Still Knox? I had to look this up.
Go. Oh, do I know what it means? No, I have no idea.
Still Knox is a medication. It's a sleeping medication.
Oh,
that's funny.
Dude, UFC fighters have the wildest nicknames, and like 90% of them are really stupid and don't make any sense at all whatsoever. I'm like, what the kind of nickname is that?
Mansman, I'm gonna let you go first here, bud. You know I love me some Dricus Duplessis, but this is Derek Brunson, wild UFC vet.
Yeah.
What's your pick?
It's funny. I've been going back and forth on this one because this has been sort of the trendy, sharp pick of the card. There's like a ton of people who love the idea of Derek Brunson as an underdog in this fight. He's getting he's sort of like you're getting
a plus 190
to pick him. Yeah. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, Dricus Duplessis has been, fighting pretty well, but he's had a close. I mean, that Brad Tavares fight was pretty close. I remember betting on him during that fight. And I was like, oh, shit, am I going to lose my money here?
I did lose my money because I bet him to get a finish, and he didn't get the finish. It went to decision.
Yeah. And, I mean, they both beaten Darren Till, who we talked about Darren Till on his little mental retreat.
Yeah, and everybody beats him. I bet Dricus Duplessis to get a knockout or a decision. He ends up tapping him out. Like,
right.
It's like I pick him to win correctly every time, but I can't predict how.
Yeah. Oh God, this is hard. It's just the question: is Derek Brunson's chin going to hold up? And
I don't think so.
That's the problem. So. I think I'd have to go with Dricus because I don't know if his shin's going to hold up. That's scary.
I got Duplessis in this fight because the last time that Derek Brunson fought a power fighter, and Jared Cannonier, he got put to sleep. So I got Derek Brunson getting knocked out. The only way that Derek Brunson would win this fight is if he out wrestles Dricus Duplessis, and Duplessis ends up on his back, being dominated on his back for the majority of the fight. Do I see that happening? No. Is it possible that can happen? Yes.
Duplessis is a wrestler too. Don't forget, he's got a lot of finishes with the subs. I mean, the neck crank on Darren Till being a prime example. But back before he went in the UFC, he had a lot of submissions under his belt. The guy's 18-2 for a reason. 17 of them were finishes.
Yeah,
let's not forget. I love me some Dricus Duplessis. I think he's the next big deal. I think he could be the next middleweight contender for the belt here really soon. I think this fight will solidify that fact. Dricus Duplessis, I think he gets this one by knockout. I think Derek Brunson will hold his own in the first, and then second round he'll be done. Dreykus by knockout plus 125. Right now, Dreykus on general money line is minus 225. If you want to bet under 1.5 rounds, it's a daring plus 132, which I personally really like. Duplessis with a first round knockout plus 330. Optional bets if you want to get degenerate here. If you think Dreykus is going to go back to decision because his last few fights have gone a long distance, you could get Dreykus with points by plus 460. The fight to go the distance plus 200. Dare you say you think Derek Brunson could pull this off on a double chance with points or a knockout plus 220 on his end? I think says a lot of volume as well.
Yeah. And another one last point on this. It always scares me when a lot of the sharp people all are on. I don't like those trendy sort of sharp little underdog plays because they never seem to come in. I hate that. Oh, Derek Brunson, this is the trendy pick.
I've heard a lot of sharps say they like the value for Brunson and it's worth a shot, but they don't ever bring up an argument of how he'll actually win. Yeah. So that's my only concern too. Like now that you mention it, and that's why we hate it. I want to hear okay, it's trendy, but what's the logic?
I want to know if his chin's going to hold up. That's like everything I've heard on the fight is, if his chin holds up, it's a good Well, yeah, I mean, if Abraham Lincoln didn't get shot at the play, it would have been a good play. You know what I mean? If his chin holds up, dumbass. Of course, if his chin holds up, that's the concern.
Yeah, if JFK and his wife switched seats, then maybe we'd have a different kind of country,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Would have been a good parade if he didn't get shot. Same thing. If his chin holds up, it's the whole fucking concern. It's not like it's, hello. I mean,
once your chin's gone, you're out there in the wind. Two seats to win.
I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid. Put money on Derek Brunson, and there goes his fucking chin.
Against a guy who's known for getting finishes. That's what's absurd to me. This isn't a wrestler he's going up. It's Dreykus Duplessis. Nickname is Still Knox. He puts people to fucking sleep.
He's a sleeper. Yeah.
The South African sleeper. I mean, even if it goes to decision, I still think Duplessis is going to take a commanding lead. And I think he's going to make it a statement because he actually came out earlier, too, and said he's pissed off that he's not in the pay-per-view event, but some kid who's 3-0 coming from Penn State is opening it up.
We're going to get to that.
Right.
That's coming up. But here we
Speaking of glass chins, Cody Garbrandt.
Thank you, Sam.
This is made of wax paper.
He needs a chin diaper.
His chin is made of wet paper. This dude, how's he even on a card? Dude,
so he was supposed to fight. He was supposed to fight somebody else, and they pulled. Oh, and that was the other last note I wanted to mention. I thought I had this written down, but maybe it's coming later. There's 3 fighters coming in on short notice. It's the very first fight. That was one fighter, and I think we're going to get to the other 2 coming up here. No, this is it. It's Cody Garbrandt, Trevin Jones. Trevin Jones stepping in on short notice. Fun fact for you guys, that someone on a podcast I was listening to did the stats since 2018 for fighters stepping in on short notice. Usually it's about 1 in 3 that come in with the victory when stepping in on short notice. So this is fight number 2.
Morono almost had it. Morono almost pulled it out against Alex Hernandez, and then he got blasted in the last round.
That's true. Cody, No Chin, Garbrandt, Trevin Jones. Uh-oh. Dang.
Nah, man.
Oh, that's awkward. That's awkward. Well, Sam, what are your thoughts here for glass chin? Let's just keep it going.
I got Trevin Jones win this one because Cody Garbrandt has
really.
I do, and Trevin Jones has shown flashes of excellence inside the octagon. So I'm also taking him to upset because he has the potential to be a really good fighter. He has the skill set to be a really good fighter, but he's lost his last couple of fights. They've been kind of close. He's been getting caught with some good stuff. I think his last fight I think he got knocked out, if I am not mistaken. Tony Barcelos. I don't remember if he got knocked out or not, but
I think it was decision, unanimous decision.
Yeah. But I mean, Trevin Jones, he's a talented fighter. I just think he's had kind of some stiff competition, and he hasn't really been able to put everything together. But I think Cody Garbrandt's an easy win because I just think he has no chin. He's literally no chin. Like all Trevin Jones has to do is tag him with one or two good shots, and it's night for Cody Garbrandt. The dude, like he didn't even look good in his last fight. Like he got slept. I'm pretty sure he's been knocked out in 4 of his last 5 fights or something, right?
It's something like that. It's wild.
Man.
Sam, your thoughts on the Cody Garbrandt fight before we may or may not lose you again?
Oh, you mean Jason?
Oh yeah, sorry, Jason.
Yeah, okay. I actually, this is one where I disagree with Sam. Yeah, we'll see if any of these even save. You may not have me on this video. It may just be you guys talking. But
it says you're recording.
But
yeah.
But no. So I went with Garbrandt here, and the reason why is this is just the fade of. This is a dropping class for Garbrandt, and I just think Tevin Jones is a tomato can. He's 1-3 in the UFC. He's lost his last 3. I'm just not sold on Tevin Jones. That's really, and I get it. If you believe Sam that he's sort of come into some stiff competition, maybe you could justify it. I just don't think Tevin Jones is good. And I think Cody Garbrandt, this is sort of this is a drop in class where I think he can win against a guy who, let's be honest, he's lost his last 3 in the UFC to guys who aren't tremendous. I mean, they're okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on.
Yeah. It's not like he's fighting.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Is Cody Garbrandt back to his normal weight, or did he still drop weight? Because I remember his last fight, he had dropped weight, thinking it was going to make it. Yeah, he dropped weight to face Kai Kara France, and then Kai Kara France just wrecked his shit.
Blasted into oblivion.
So I guess he's back to bantamweight. Yeah, so
he's getting tossed in bantamweight. He literally his last. Everybody was just taking him to freaking Pound Town. Oh man!
God damn it! Again. Son of a bitch!
Oh my god!
Oh man, this is gonna be brutal for editing. Hang on, I'm gonna text. Try it different. Yeah, I'll end it. I got. Let's see. Where's he at?
There we go. I tried a different browser, so
there we go. Yeah, see the error thing didn't even come up this time.
Yeah, so there we go. That's why I just went down and went back. And, yeah,
that's right. All right, we're doing a lot better here.
Yeah, Riverside is. I don't know what it is with Riverside, man. Me and Riverside do not. I have problems with it every time, and I don't fucking know why.
Yeah, we don't know what it is, but we're good over here. And on that note, I got Garbrandt here. I'm actually disagreeing with Sam. We're going to go heads up for a second fight. The reason being, it's kind of like Jason said, Trevin Jones, not only has he pretty much fought nothing but tomato cans, I don't like the fact he's coming up on short notice against, let's be real, a former UFC champion with a glass chin now. But Trevin Jones just has not done enough to impress me. This seems like a fight that would shockingly go the distance. This seems like the kind of fight where it is a class relief kind of fight for realistically both fighters. But this is the kind of fight you actually go, okay, there should be a knockout. There should be a finish. And then it never happens. So this is like my what the fuck fight. This is the one that I just don't know if I can make heads or tails one way or the other. Fight to go the distance. Cody to win by decision. You're getting it you're getting it 5-1, plus 500. Jones, if you think he can get the upset with the knockout, plus 260. Sam. So that would be a really, really good bet there. Under 1.5 rounds, plus 100. You're looking at breaking even 50%.
And just one thing to add, I just saw Trevin Jones only 3 wins by knockout out of 13 careers. So the numbers don't even favor. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I actually bet Garbrandt. That's the last leg of my parlay. Who knows? Garbrandt may, we talked about chins holding up. This could be the fight that where the chin fails me. So it's possible.
Yeah,
we'll see. Getting into the pay-per-view, boys. Let's jump into it. We're under an hour. All right, Bo Nickel, Dana White's.
This is a joke.
Dana White's boy, Bo Nickel, coming from Penn State. 2 back-to-back Dana White's Contender Series first-round finishes. Minus 2,200 favorite against Jamie Pickett.
See, Jamie Pickett's not a scrub. Like, he's not like a world-class fighter.
He's only 2-4 in the UFC. But,
He lost to Kyle Dawkins. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, that was
Kyle Dawkins is not
so good. No, Kyle Dawkins is a scrub. He's being mop. That dude is a mop. He got cut, dude.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah,
I want to say like it was a decent fight, but no, I can't.
This could be Jamie Pickett's last fight in the UFC too. Let's be real.
This could be. Yeah, he could be on the way.
Is this the sacrificial lamb like they did with Hazmat Kamayev, where it was just like, here's the new up and comer, here's a guy.
I'm not gonna lie. I had picked Jamie Pickett to win this fight just because I have a thing against picking like people that I don't know. So I had picked Jamie Pickett, but I actually might switch that pick to Bo Nickel just after what Steve told me earlier today when we were talking about it. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really like Bo Nickel, so to see him lose would be kind of nice. But I don't know.
Dana's face after he loses, that would be immaculate.
I am Vegas. I am like begging. I will go night night dipshit if you lose.
I will Jamie Pickett to win.
I will start trying.
Well, I gotta call money management. We should call Miguel and see if he could throw $20 on Jamie Pickett.
I mean, seriously.
So fun story, Sam. My neighbor had put $20 on Juliana Pena to beat Amanda Nunes. The first time. And we gave him so much shit, and we were making fun of him, and then she fucking won. Dude, he went to the casino and bet it. He got like 200 something bucks out of it. Like, it was ridiculous.
Like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, Juliana Pena
crazy. That was like, dude, that was like the craziest pick. I mean, anybody that bet on Juliana Pena made big money. I mean, that was.
Oh, the casinos were probably hurt
of all time. Yeah.
The casinos were happy because everybody put money on Nunes, so they were like, they were thrilled. This is like another fight where it's like, is the sharp play you bet on Pickett? Because everyone and their mother is going to parlay Bo Nickel.
Yeah, I mean, I said, I picked Jamie Pickett. He has good power, but I haven't watched any of Bo Nickel's fights. So I think like you said, he has wrestling, but does he have? Like,
he's a white Khabib. He literally finished the dudes in like less than 2 minutes and made them tap.
But he just wrestles. Like I don't know, man.
Yeah,
3 fights minus 2,200. 3
That's
fights.
kind of insane.
No way. I mean, I don't care. Okay, he wins in a minute. He's not winning with my money. Like no.
Well, now here's an interesting proposal, gents. They have Bo Nickel to win by submission at only minus 170. If you want to get cute and bet a first round sub, it's minus 105. They actually have a special right now. For him to get a submission in the first or even the second round, it's still minus 150. So why is this guy a minus 2,200 but only a minus 170 to win by sub when that's all he's done? You would think that like it should be juiced more.
Well, his first fight, he did knock somebody out. The guy was 0-2 in his career, but it happened. It was
what career?
Jamie Pickett's like 9-8. No, hold on.
13-8.
Pickett is
13-8.
Let's see, Jamie Pickett, Dennis Tululin. That guy's nobody.
Yeah, I was going to say, tell me one person Jamie Pickett has fought and beaten that impressed you. Where's the Jeopardy theme song when you need it?
He's lost his last 3 fights.
Yeah, there's nobody. There is zero.
I got pick Bo Nickel just because Laureano Staropoli was the last person he beat by decision.
Bro, this guy lost to Jordan Wright. Like, come on, man. This is so bad. He lost to Kyle Dawkins and Jordan Wright. This is embarrassing.
Yeah,
this is not good. He's coming off a KO loss. I gotta take Bo Nickel. I can't justify Jamie Pickett. Like, as much as I would like to, he's
this is the
5% striking accuracies at 51, 9 wins
by
knockout.
I think this is the don't get cute pick. Don't get cute. Don't try and be that guy. Just take the clear favorite.
Yeah,
go about your day.
Or you don't bet. I'm not betting.
I would throw some juice on the first round sub just to see if he's the real deal. I wouldn't put a lot on it. I'd barely put maybe half a unit, which whatever your units are, like, take that for what you will. But only because, like, if you're going to bet Bo Nickel, like, you could take it at minus 170, but I just think if by that logic, you might as well just play the first round. Or even go to live bet. Say it gets really close in the first round, maybe live bet at the second round when the odds completely plummet.
I'm not going to get too fancy here. I'm going to take Bo Nickel. I'm feeling pretty good on this card.
We got a lot in common. Shockingly.
We got some crazy fights coming up. I'm about to tell you some. This next one, I got Jalen Turner winning. The Tarantula. He's a beast. Yeah, I'm taking Jalen Turner for the upset on Mateusz Gamrot because I think he has a better skill set. He's long, he's lanky, he's really tall for the weight class, and he's an excellent submission master. So I definitely have him winning this fight by submission, probably like second round.
Okay. Mateusz Gamrot, minus 205 favorite. He's the third fighter on short notice, and for those of you at home keeping track, I've said 1 and 3 come in and get the win. I think actually I'm going to disagree with Sam. I actually think Gamrot's going to come in on short notice. The reason being is I think Gamrot actually has the superior, not just the superior record. I think the class of fighters he's gone against more recently in comparison to Turner have been more respectable. I mean, he lost to Beneil Dariush?
Yeah,
Beneil Dariush, sorry. And his best win was Arman Tsarukyan, whereas you look at Jalen Turner, his best win was Brad Riddell.
I think Jalen Turner's on like a 4 or 5 fight win streak. Though.
He's won 5 in a row, most of them all within the first 2 rounds. But look at who he's fought and look at who Gamrot's fought. Gamrot is coming in, I think it's 4 weeks' notice, and he's still a favorite. And
he's a good fighter, I'm not going to lie. I like Mateusz Gamrot, but I think momentum swings in the favor of Jalen Turner to win this one. And I think he's going to climb into the top 10 after this victory. So,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Jason?
This could be fight of the night, but I'm surprised this isn't more of a trendy underdog because you really sort of – this is like a huge fight for Turner because I think the question – your guys' sort of disagreement is sort of, I think, the question of this fight. Well, Turner, big step up in class compared to who he's been fighting. But, I mean, you look at sort of the way he's been winning. First round win against Riddell, second round win against Jamie Malarkey, beat Euros Medic first round. Like, you see, he's sort of passing every test. And now you're going to see this is the fight that's going to show, well, how high is the ceiling? I think this is going to be a really good fight. And I'm surprised this isn't a trendier underdog pick. I like Jalen Turner. Now, again, could Gamrot win? 100%. I think he's a great fighter, too. Mm-hmm. But this is a numbers play for me. Like, if I was playing this, and I avoided it because I just want to, enjoy this fight. And hopefully I won my bet already, and I'm sort of chilling, sitting pretty. But I actually have no main card bets that I actually made. I don't think I made a single main card bet. I want to enjoy this fight. I would play Turner because of the number, and it's tempting. I actually am thinking about maybe throwing a little something on Turner. But
maybe closer to fight time.
But yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great fight.
I actually think, oddly enough, like if Gamrot's going to win, I don't think he's going to get the normal finish. And I think if this was like a normal fight camp for both fighters and we're coming in, let's be real, Gamrot would be a minus 500. But because Gamrot's stepping in on short notice, he's a minus 205. And I think that is what catches my eye. Because if you look at Turner, he was a plus 140 against Dan Hooker. And maybe that's a bad play. Maybe you could say wrong guy favored. You could say pretty good underdog bet. Now, my thinking is you're getting a better upgrade when it comes to Gamrot. And now you're saying this guy's worth even more of the underdog pick. And I just think that's a little silly. I just think if the guy is favored at minus 205 coming in on short notice, but would be more afterwards, that's the play. But I mean, you're 100% right though, Sam. I think Jalen Turner could come in and get this upset. I think this could be the dog of the week. Turner by knockout or sub, if you think he'll get the finish, plus 280.
Yeah, I think he gets the sub for sure.
Got it. Well, unfortunately,
this next fight is going to be crazy. Oh, he's changed.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get Sam back here in a minute.
You mean Jay?
But yeah, no, we got like 3 more fights. It's like, come on, can we get through this? We got 3 more fights.
I mean, dude, I'm just looking at this. Like, I really like Shavkat Rakhmonov. I think he's awesome. And
Jeff Neal missed weight. That's all we're gonna say.
Jeff Neal missed weight.
Yes, he did.
Oh, dude, I gotta go with Shavkat though, but I don't know. Jeff Neal knocked out Vicente Luque, bro. Like, I had Jeff Neal winning this fight just because he
really. You had him on the upset.
I had him on the upset because he knocked out Vicente Luque, bro. Like, Vicente Luque is a straight murderer, and he knocked him out, and he just looked better at whole fight. Like, he's been really good in his last 3 or 4 fights. I think he's on like a 3 or 4 fight win streak. But I mean, Shavkat's undefeated.
Shavkat's undefeated. He's Kazakhstan, not a Taji, as you said earlier. But
no, I said
Kazakh.
Tajik. That's what you call people from Tajikistan.
I mean, I was just being an asshole, but
yeah, you're good, bro. I love you.
Jeff Neal, though, like, I mean, the word gatekeeper comes to mind.
I mean, they both fought Neil Magny. The difference is that Shavkat Rakhmonov submitted Neil Magny in the second, and Jeff Neal lost.
Yep. All right, here we go. He looks like he's back.
Yeah, it's a struggle. I don't know if it's my computer that it doesn't want to, like, I don't know what it is. I can't get Riverside to. It always is running out of disk space, and it never wants to record. I have no idea if anything uploaded. So
we're going to find out. No, I mean, we're going to get through this one way or another, but
Riverside,
I will say, though, whatever you did, you're coming in a lot better and clearer. So as long as this holds, this might be the way to go.
I swear to God, I'm going to use like tablets and phones from now on and just, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
That's fucking crazy. Jesus Christ. All right. Jeff Neal, Shavkat Rakhmonov. We're both on Rakhmonov, or I'm on Rakhmonov here. Sam wanted to go with. He wanted to go with Jeff Neal, but 4 pounds overweight. Neal couldn't put down the fork either.
I mean, yeah, how about you lose some fucking weight, fatso? I mean,
hit the treadmill.
The other guy's already minus 500 favorite, and then you're going to come in 4 pounds overweight? Come on, man.
All right, dude, come on. I can't.
That's
good conscious. I think Jeff.
In good conscience as Degents, we do not bet on fighters who come in overweight. We just don't do it. And look, I'm a fatty fat McTub too. I love to eat food. I'm literally doing it during this episode. But for God's sakes, am I a fighter? Am I a wrestler?
No, folks. No, we are
No.
not in the UFC.
Yeah, I never missed weight. Like you don't miss weight. It's just like an unspoken rule for yourself and for the courtesy of the other fighters. Like
You just don't miss
don't
weight.
miss weight. Don't miss weight. Stop doing it. If you're going to miss weight, don't fight.
There are females who literally cut their hair to not miss weight.
Like
Jake Neal cut his hair and he's 4 pounds over.
Stop. No.
My problem is the amount of time you have to cut weight. Like, what are you, 40 pounds? Or like some people, and here's the other thing. Some people are so overweight, like after the fight, it's just crazy. Like if you know you can't.
Patty Pimblett, prime example.
Reasonable, if you know you can't cut that much weight in a reasonable amount of time, then just like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, say, all right, so for welterweight, right? These guys they're probably walking around close to 200 pounds. Like outside the octagon, they're probably walking around like 195, 200. You know. So it's like they have a lot of weight to cut, but you have 4 months to do it. That's 10 pounds a month. And if you break that down, it's like however many pounds a day, whatever, right? Half a pound a day, whatever it is. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you have nutritionists, you have fitness coaches, you have conditioning coaches, strength coaches. You have a whole team with you. Come up with a plan and cut the weight. Stop fooling around.
Yeah.
And 30% purse cut, it just isn't doing it anymore for these guys. Like,
and Shavkat's on a big roll too, man. He's been killing people. He's been murdering.
Shavkat.
Oh yeah,
Shavkat's been killing people.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be top 5. I think he's going to crank into the top.
So Sam, are you changing your pick or are you sticking with Jeff Neal?
I'm going with Shavkat.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. No crazy bets there, but I think Shavkat for a finish is in order there, just in good conscience. All right. Co-main event, Valentina Shevchenko, 5-rounder versus Alexa Grasso. Grasso coming in plus 530. Is the queen going to be dethroned?
So I actually didn't watch Valentina Shevchenko's last fight with Talia Santos. I heard it was a grinder. And it could have gone either way. Kind of like Jon Jones with his last fight with Dominic Reyes. That fight really could have gone either way. I think Alexa Grasso is really good. But I personally am not going to bet against Bullet because that's my girl and I love her. And I think she pulls this one out. I think that near loss motivated her to really focus. And I think like some of the trash talk is really like motivated her to like go out there and show that she's still the queen, that she's still on top of that division, and that she's still a dominant champion. So I'm not counting out Bullet. I think she wins. And I actually think this is gonna be crazy, but I think she's gonna win in the third. I don't even think it goes 5.
Damn. Okay.
Bold.
That's bold. All right, Mansman, what's your take?
So, yeah, I mean, I think it's I think sort of Shevchenko feels vulnerable because she won by split decision last time. So it's kind of, one of those either way. Here's my problem with this fight. I look at the last 3 from Grasso. You beat Macy Barber by unanimous decision. Is Macy Barber that good?
No.
You beat the
gatekeeper.
You beat the ghost of JoJo Wood by submission.
Right.
And you killed Vivian Araújo, but we were talking about how she's an underdog to Amanda Ribas. Like, she's an underdog to Amanda Ribas in this fight. Alexa Grasso beat her last time. It's like, I don't know if that's the same level, sort of, Valentina Shevchenko. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying Alexa Grasso ain't got skills, but I don't know if she's on this level, man.
I don't think she's on championship level either with you guys. I mean, there's a time to fade the champ. There's a time to ride with the champ. And I'm riding with the champ here. I'm taking her with Sam. I had her in a 3rd round finish by submission. Literally lost the odds here, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll pull that up real quick if I can. But I don't see this one going the distance. I see Shevchenko making a statement. I see Grasso putting up a championship-type fight, but I just don't – I think we've seen enough of Valentina Shevchenko, and I don't see the upset potential here.
No. Oh, I forgot, too. I forgot the most important part of this. Why I think Alexa Grasso sucked. She lost to Carla Esparza.
Yeah. What's up with that?
I don't know, man. You're losing to Carla Esparza, the Cookie Monster. I don't have high hopes for you. Like, that's just me.
Shevchenko to win by knockout in the third is 18-1. If you want a submission, you're looking at 21-1. So, Sam, I might be bold. I may have to throw something on there to see if it sticks, but. 5 rounds Shevchenko should retain. I don't think Grasso is going to do enough. That's just kind of what it comes down to. I don't know exactly how this ends. I don't think we're going to look into shocking territory because I think even with Amanda Nunes, you knew at some point she was going to get got. You just weren't sure when.
Right.
I don't see that kind of thing happening. Like, Talia Santos was that moment, and Santos missed it.
We're in that time period where there's a lot of like turmoil in the upper echelons of the weight divisions where there's a lot of turnover and there's a lot of room for opening. Like, I mean, we had 4 new champions last year. So,
4.
Yeah, 4.
I was going to say, is Shevchenko like the only one left? I'm trying to think. Like, well, no, I guess Izzy isn't there.
Yeah, he lost to Pereira.
Izzy lost.
Yeah, Izzy's gone. Usman is gone.
Nagano gone.
Nagano, yeah,
because he's cut.
I mean,
Charles Oliveira gone.
Yeah, Oliveira's gone.
And I mean, if you want to count Moreno and Figueiredo going back and forth, I mean.
Yeah.
Well, you have Volkanovski. Volkanovski's still there.
Has he been there that
No,
long?
he dropped the belt to go for the double. So, I was gonna say Yair Rodriguez. That was for the interim.
Yeah,
was it for the interim?
Yeah, that was for the
interim. That's right. That's right. My bad.
He was going for double champ. Remember?
Yeah. So that was for the interim. But anyways, Yeah, so I think we're pretty much on the same page here. We've had a couple heads ups, but let's get to this main event. And I think we have a lot to get through. All right, I'm going to introduce. I'll introduce this. I'll give the odds. Johnny Cocaine. Sorry. Johnny Woman Beater. Sorry, no. Sam, hang on. Sam, help me out. Johnny Headbutts Cop Cars.
Johnny, headbutt cop cars, Jones. John, what were some of? Oh man, we had so many good ones.
Boned by USADA.
Johnny can't pass the drug test.
Yeah, Johnny DUI Jones.
Johnny skips legs days Jones. Okay. Jon Jones makes his debut. He makes his return after 3 years, going up against Ciryl the Frenchie Gane.
Dude, I love Ciryl Gane.
Ciryl Gane is a plus 140 dog, and Jon Jones minus 170 favorite. Jon Jones increased his weight by 43 pounds to make weight for this fight. Last fight, 2020, against Dominic Reyes, where he won by decision. All right, boys. Are we really riding with Jon Jones here? Or are we
Jon
taking...
Jones is on a 26-fight win streak. Like, let's be completely honest. The dude's on like a over 20-fight win streak. You know, he sauced everybody. Like, he's literally beaten all the legends that you could possibly think of. He ran the light heavyweight division for pretty much a whole decade, basically.
He made Daniel Cormier cry on multiple occasions.
I mean, he was choosing when he beat him, but, you know.
I don't think Jon Jones is necessarily, like, a good person. I think I think Jon Jones is mentally ill and he needs help. Like he needs rehab and he needs like severe like help. But I love Jon Jones. I do love Jon Jones, and I want him to win because I feel like it's destiny for Jon Jones to win. But I also love Ciryl Gane, and I think Ciryl Gane is a much better striker. I don't know. That's kind of crazy to say because Jon Jones striking is just so like unique and abstract, and that's really what's carried him throughout most of his career. But I think like in terms of fight IQ, I think Ciryl Gane is like a smarter fighter. He's probably one of the smartest fighters that Jon Jones has ever fought. And that's saying a lot.
Let's remind the world who Ciryl Gane has fucked up.
Yeah.
Tai Tuivasa.
Oh, that one hurt.
That hurt. I love Tai. He fucked up Derek Lewis. Didn't even make it look competitive.
Nope.
Junior Dos Santos knocked him out.
Dos Santos is washed.
He's old. Yeah.
And Derek Lewis is washed.
Yeah.
I don't think Derek
Lewis. But Tai, the way he pieced up Tai almost knocked his ass out, and then he came back and gave him a 2-piece.
Please don't remind me. Oh, that hurts so bad.
I don't know. Ciryl
dude, how do you think I feel?
I don't know. Here's my one question about Ciryl Gane. Is he going to be able to keep the fight on his feet? Like that's my biggest question. Like if Jon Jones can take it to the ground, I see Jon Jones winning this fight. Even though I did hear that Ciryl Gane, his ground game is actually a lot more impressive than we have been led to believe. Like he might have some tricks in the bag, but I don't know, man. Jon Jones is just such a complete fighter.
Is this fight going to be voided as a no contest when he pops positive by USADA? I mean,
oh my God, this guy.
Like, does it matter? Like, should we even put money on this? Like, is DraftKings going to void my bet like 2 days later? Or are they just going to give me a $20 refund as a free bet because they feel bad?
Yeah, you're getting the free bet.
Yeah, you're getting the free bet. I don't know.
All right, Mansman. All right, so actually, let's start with Sam. Pick a winner, pick the round, pick the method.
All right. I'm going with this is so hard. This is such a hard pick. I'm going with Jon Jones. I'm gonna have to go with the GOAT, Jon Jones. And I actually think he's going to go 5-round decision. But if there is a finish, I would pick Ciryl Gane for a finish in round 3 by knockout, or I would pick Jon Jones for a submission win in round 3.
This guy took my degenerate pick of the card. I won't say which one it is, but I'll leave that for the spoiler. Mansman, your thoughts, your picks. Where are you going with this?
So, I hate Ciryl Gane. You know that. I hate Ciryl Gane. I don't like him. I don't know what it is. I just don't like Ciryl Gane. I don't.
Is it because he's A, French, B, short, C, boring, or D, he knocked out our favorite fighter of all fucking time?
Like, baby.
He knocked out our boy. Yo, what's up with him?
Yo, man, I wanted to do that shoey though. Like, wow, I wanted to watch Steve do that shoey.
Shoey, baby.
I know, but
Jon Jones gonna get one back for Tai Tuivasa.
So here's my question: if this is Francis Ngannou fighting Jon Jones, what are the odds?
Oh, Ngannou's a favorite.
I think Ngannou crushes Jon Jones.
Like what? Minus what? 200? Minus 300?
Probably like minus.
Oh no, I'd say minus. Sorry, Sam. Go ahead.
I was gonna say like minus 275. Probably even. Like
I was gonna say minus 175.
Oh,
so I'm like, as much as I hate to say it, like Ciryl Gane had a competitive fight with Ngannou. Like that was a close fight.
It was not that.
It was not like a walk.
It was not a. It wasn't a walk off. It wasn't clearly one-sided. It was back and forth.
He had to go to the wrestling because Gane was holding his own. And even then it was a unanimous decision, but it was like a 3-round to 2 sort of fight. And I would have Ngannou, I think he'd be at least a minus 200 favorite against Jones. So why is Jones a minus 170 favorite against Gane when I think Gane's probably the second best heavyweight in the world? I hate to say it. If I had to pick, I would go Ciryl Gane by decision. I could see it being one of those fights that pisses me off where Ciryl Gane's just technical. He goes, he clinches, he does some damage. Jon Jones is a little rusty. Like, I could see it being 49-46, 49-46, 50-45, Ciryl Gane. I see Gane by decision here.
I think that's a good pick. Like, I think, like, as far as their technical acumen goes with, like, striking, I think it's pretty even. Like, they're both Muay Thai specialists. I would give Jon Jones, the only area where I really give Jon Jones the advantage in is the wrestling.
Which is crazy because Ciryl Gane is pretty solid, too, when it comes to the wrestling.
Yeah, but he got out-wrestled by Francis Ngannou, who is not a wrestler.
So here's my thoughts. On one hand, Jon Jones' last fight was against Dominic Reyes, which we now know was a pretty shitty win because Reyes has turned out to be a scrub.
Glass chin.
He's added 43 pounds. And Jason, you were a pitcher. You know what the difference is between throwing a ball and then adding 10 pounds to that same arm and throwing a ball. Yeah. And I think for Jon Jones, who looked as rusty as he did against Reyes, he's coming 3 years later with weight against a guy who his last 5 fights were 5-rounders, have damn near gone the distance. I think it was 2 or 3 of them, but late in the third were the other ones. And he's a dog, and that guy's a favorite because it's Jon Jones.
God looks fit as fuck. God looks
good. He looks good.
Huge. I mean, he's the biggest fighter that Jon Jones has ever faced. And plus, I was listening to something the other day, I think it was on ESPN, and they're talking about how, like, Jon Jones for light heavyweight had, like, a huge reach advantage. He had, like, almost a foot in reach advantage over, like, his opponents, you know, like everyone. He had, usually he would have, like, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-inch reach advantage because his reach is freaking 84.
Oh, yeah, he's super tall.
Crazy, right? But Ciryl Gane's also 6'4", and he has an 81-inch reach. So that cuts into Jon Jones's reach advantage significantly, you know.
It's wild.
You have to stand on the outside and pick them apart.
Truth be told, here's my thoughts. This is the Conor McGregor effect of a main event. We're getting Jon Jones as a favorite because it's Jon Jones, not because when you actually look at these fighters and you look at recency bias, you look at everything. This fight should be, like, close to even, in my opinion. This should not be a clear favorite for Jon Jones, unless there's something I'm missing. And here's the other thought, and this is why I'm thinking, okay, maybe there is a reason. Because when you actually look at the sizes, you kind of look at the fighting styles of each guy, and you take away the weight, this just looks like Jon Jones versus Daniel Cormier 3. If you really kind of think about it,
that's disrespectful to God.
I don't think Daniel Cormier has the same striking, like, technical acumen.
Yeah, I agree. Agree completely.
Ciryl Gane's a much, much, much better striker than DC.
I'm talking about, like, size comparison, type of fighting. I'm not saying, like, technical, because you're right. Ciryl Gane is the better out of the two. But if you think about it, like...
Bro, look at Gane at the weigh-in. Daniel Cormier never looked that fit. Like, I love DC.
That's all right. That's fair.
My dude was pudgy. Like, come on,
DC
man.
Was pudgy.
He was super pudge.
Even in his prime, he was still pretty pudge.
Yeah. Gane, try and find an ounce of fat on that dude. Like, that dude is jacked.
But also Gane, a serious wrestler who just happens to have really good striking. DC didn't have the striking in comparison.
Well,
Gane is like a better version of DC. That's my thing.
I would say Gane is a striker with decent wrestling, whereas
really?
DC was a wrestler with decent striking. Yeah,
I can see that.
Don's background's in Muay Thai and kickboxing. And here's the other thing that I was going to throw in here. So I was telling Steve about this, Jason, I was telling Steve about this morning. So I watched this video, it was like a behind the scenes thing on Jon Jones. And he was like, yeah, I've been training with absolute beasts. You want to know who those beasts were? Those beasts were Maurice Green, Jordan De Castro, and Walt Harris. Meanwhile, Ciryl Gane's been probably training, like Ciryl Gane was training with somebody from Glory. You know what I mean? And then like even when Francis Ngannou was training, he was training with Rico Verhoeven, who's the best heavyweight fighter in the entire world. He's been the Glory heavyweight champion for like 10 years. The dude's unstoppable. He's amazing. He's a killer. He's a straight up killer. Glory is, like, if you don't know anything about Glory, Glory is where Alex Pereira came from. Cedric Doumbé was in Glory. It's just killers. Like, it's a league full of nothing but straight up killers. And so, yeah, like, the difference in training quality is just like.
And Jon Jones is training with Walt Harris.
Jon Jones called Jordan De Castro and Walt Harris and Maurice Green beasts. Like, bro, Maurice Green's like 14-10. Jordan De Castro got cut from the UFC, and Walt Harris got cut from the UFC. Are you on drugs? Obviously, he's on drugs.
Well, yeah, he is. He is on drugs.
That dude is high. He bleeds.
No, it's crazy. I think all streaks come to an end. I think we saw this with Anderson Silva. Like, I mean, he just got with Chris Weidman while he was still active. Jon Jones not being active. This is the Conor McGregor effect. Conor McGregor is going to just automatically be a favorite because it's Conor McGregor. But let's think about it for a minute. When it comes down to Michael Chandler, am I going to be the Barney that bets it? Not anymore. I've learned my lesson after the last 3 times.
Yeah, Michael Chandler, easy peasy, is dusting Conor McGregor. Like, I don't even think that fight is close.
And I just don't like the idea of betting Jon Jones here in this spot. Like, I can't do it. I don't like Ciryl Gane either, but I just think that, like, when you look at the value of what's going to happen, I'm 100% with Sam. I think if Ciryl Gane's going to win, it's going to be either by decision because he's going to be way more technical and way more experienced in this kind of a situation where Jon Jones is put on weight. And trust me, I know he's lethal with the strikes. I know he's known as a killer. He's not known as a killer in heavyweight. And I don't think he understands how much slower he probably will be or how much harder he's going to fall if he gets ground tackled, or if he gets tripped.
To be fair, I've been following a lot of Jon Jones's journey on Instagram, and he has been training like every single day for 3 years straight. So I'm just saying, like, the drop-off in skills might not be as dramatic as we think it is just because this dude has literally been in the gym every single day for like 3 years straight.
Well, I don't think it's a drop-off in skill. I just think there's a difference between walking around at 245 and walking around at 200.
Yeah.
That's the issue. Whereas Ciryl Gane has always pretty much fought at this weight, and if anything, he's gone heavier and dropped. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to be a big key.
And it's just different. Like, you know what I mean? You go and it's one thing to practice and train in a gym. And then it's another thing to just like be in the ring. It was like, baseball, like it's one thing to go and sort of practice, on a mound where there's no hitter, and then like you're in the game and it's just a different thing. And let me tell you something too. I mean, no offense to these guys, and I know Jon Jones in the past beat legends, but like, let's be honest. I mean, who is a better heavyweight, Daniel Cormier or Francis Ngannou? I mean,
Ngannou.
I would take, no offense, like Reyes, Anthony Smith, like they were good fighters, but I mean, are they the same as sort of the guys who are fighting now? Like, I think the sport has gotten better. And again, Jon Jones could go, and I'm not saying he can't win, but it's like a different, I mean, Ciryl Gane, I hate him, but he ain't no joke. Like,
if Ciryl Gane wins, the shock will be that Jon Jones lost. Right. If Jon Jones wins, he's shocking the world. And I think that says everything. And Jon Jones, for me, so my pick Ciryl Gane ultimately to win by decision. My DGen bet, Sam took the Thunder. I had third round knockout, Ciryl Gane at plus 3,200.
Jesus.
Wow! Oh my
Whoa.
god, bro!
Whoa.
I'm not saying this off the table. Like I'm
throwing a unit on it. I'm throwing a straight unit on that because I actually think it's very possible.
It's very possible. It's very possible. Like we don't know. Like the UFC was completely different 3 years ago when Jon Jones last fought.
Yeah.
You know, and the heavyweight divisions evolved. Like it's really starting to become something special again. You know, I would have loved to see Francis Ngannou stay, but I already knew he was going to leave. I already knew he wasn't going to resign. So it was just kind of like you're mentally preparing yourself. Like he'd been a free agent since December, and I already knew that. Like I know how important boxing is to him, and I knew that they weren't going to put that in his contract, so he just wasn't going to stay. You know.
Yeah,
Now he's
without a
about to
doubt.
fight Deontay Wilder, I think, and that's going to be crazy.
That's going to be fun.
That's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: I know he has a really close relationship with Mike Tyson and Tay Atlas, so don't think that Francis Ngannou is just going to be like some slouch boxer. Like,
oh, I'm excited! I can't wait to see. That might be the first boxing pay-per-view I pay for in a while. Like,
yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm going to cut a promo for my cousin real quick. Tank Davis fighting April 22nd against Ryan Garcia.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
To knock Ryan Garcia out in the 6th round. This is going to happen.
I forgot your cousin was Tank Davis. I didn't even.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Let's go.
He's gonna knock Ryan Garcia out in the 6th round. It's gonna happen. You heard it here first on Distinguished Degents.
Fuck yes. We'll plug that in. We'll plug that as a clip.
We live now.
All right, gentlemen, let's go over real quick. Give me your top 3 picks. Who's your top out of all the fights? Who are your top 3 to win out of confidence?
My top 3, I'm gonna go with Valentina Shevchenko. I'm gonna go with Jalen Turner, and I'm gonna go with Ian Gary.
Ooh, okay. Jason.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it this way because my bets were prelim, but so I'll go prelim. Ian Gary, Julian Marquez, and I forgot his first name. Simon against Manatee Martinez. Main card, and I might, if I do well in the prelims and win my bet, I may do another parlay on this. Main card, Jalen Turner, Ciryl Gane, Shavkat Rakhmonov.
Damn.
Yeah, I got that Rakhmonov too.
I'll go a little different for you guys just for the sakes of content. Top 3, I like opener, the Jason Mansman special, Esteban Ribovics. I'll take Amanda Ribas and my boy Dricus Duplessis as far as the undercard.
Yeah, there you go, Dricus, baby.
Yeah, that's the guy.
I love me some Dricus. Main event,
yeah.
I'll take Bo Nickel and Shevchenko. Big favorites.
Nickel.
Bo Nickel.
I hope he loses.
Nickel.
God, I hope he loses so bad. I need that. I need him to lose.
Dude, if Jamie Pickett pulls off the upset, like I would be ecstatic. But
we'll lose our shit. We will be blackout mortals.
Just like I said, like I'm picking Jon Jones, but like if Ciryl Gane wins, I'm not gonna be upset. I'll be happy. I love Ciryl Gane. I think he's a great fighter. I think he's a good guy. I think he's good for his sport.
I always do get pleasure out of watching a woman beater get knocked out. Which, speaking of, watch the Greg Hardy bare knuckle fighting clip if you haven't already.
Oh yeah, I gotta watch
Greg
it.
Hardy went to sleep, bro.
Jesus. All right.
The BKFC, the place where UFC fighters go to have a 4th career.
That's where careers go to die. Well, Sam, thanks for joining us here for this episode. This was a good handicap. We always have a pleasure.
We have to have more UFC videos, especially now that football season's over. Oh, and I want to announce, if anybody watches this, I'm planning on very small bets, but once baseball season starts, a bet every single day for the entire baseball season.
Jesus
that's
Lord.
Ballsy, bro. That's ballsy.
Yes. Oh, well, you'll have to keep track of that. Mansman, I think we've got an MLB Futures episode coming out shortly. We're going to have to get that scheduled. Sam, thanks for joining us. We'll hopefully have you again for UFC 286.
Yeah, so, man.
Yeah,
thanks for joining us.
Yeah, wait. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Money Mansman, Big Bucks Beta here signing off. Good night, Degents, and go make some motherfucking money.
Amen.